everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon and this is a channel that is dedicated to all things related to narcissism. I've been married to a covert narcissist for almost 20 years. I'm separated from him now, and what I do with this channel is I use my real life experiences to get information out there to people about what narcissism really is, what it looks like, what it does to you, and what it does to your family. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about cutting off narcissistic supply. If you are in a relationship with a narcissist, particularly a covert narcissist, you have all the power in the relationship. Now, a narcissist doesn't want you to know this, but the reality really is that you own the relationship. The reason for this is that a narcissist is extremely crippled by their need for narcissistic supply. It keeps them dependent on you. You believe that the narcissist has all the power in the relationship, but it really is exactly the opposite. Everything that you see in the relationship is manipulation. It's smoke and mirrors. A narcissist is dependent on narcissistic supply. So that's an outside validation of who they are. It's a pathological need for attention that doesn't take into account your feelings or your needs. So a narcissist has to have the supply. So it's ironic, you believe they have the power, but it could not be further from the truth. It really is as easy as emotionally unhooking yourself for your journey of freedom to begin. Narcissists don't want you to know this. They want you to believe that they have the power. But the truth is that a narcissist doesn't have any internal strength or knowledge. They don't have any personality, particularly a covert narcissist. Now, if you've ever seen these big elephants and they have a chain around their leg and they're like, say, tied up to a tree, and you might look at this and think to yourself, well, why does the elephant stay there? It's so big, it's so powerful, it could just break away. It could essentially just walk away. What has happened to the elephant is it's been trained to consider itself helpless. So when it's a young elephant, when it's a baby elephant, it's chained to that tree, but the baby elephant doesn't have the power or strength to break away. It is chained. As it gets older and gains strength, it has the ability, but it doesn't think it can. Everything comes down to the way that the elephant thinks about itself. It's the same with you. It's the same with me. We have an inner strength if we can just reach it, if we can feel better about ourselves, if we can reach this area of power, we can also break away from any narcissistic relationship. The narcissist doesn't have power over us. It's all a mirage. It's all pretend. It's all made up. You're manipulated. You think something that isn't true. A narcissist is like a drug addict. So if you think of a drug addict, what they do every day is go about getting their drug, obtaining their supply. They are afraid of feeling the pain of withdrawal. They don't want to feel that. They run from it. So nothing is more important than their drug, not their family, not their job, nothing. They have to have that drug, and they will do anything to get that drug. Lie, cheat, steal, it doesn't matter. The drug is the most important thing. That's how a narcissist is with their supply. The supply is the most important thing. They don't care what they have to do to get it. They will step all over you. They will hurt you, betray you. It doesn't matter. A drug addict is running from the feeling of withdrawal, and a narcissist is running from the reality of who they are. They don't want to feel the emptiness inside of themselves. Narcissists are extremely mentally ill, and they cannot stand who they are. They hate themselves, so they have to pretend to be somebody else. And this is where you come in. This is why you have all the power. They're using you to get ahead. And oftentimes, particularly if you're with a covert narcissist, you are with someone who is not particularly smart. So if you think about investing, if you had money to invest, if you had a financial advisor, they would tell you to diversify. You shouldn't put all your money in the stock market, all your money into precious metals, all your money into real estate. You should put a little in each. That way, if, say, the real estate market tanks, well, that's all right, because you still have money in the stock market, or you still have money in precious metals. A covert narcissist very often puts all their supply needs in you. So you are the source of supply, just you. So that leaves them incredibly vulnerable. If you take away that supply, they're going to collapse. You will gain strength. They will collapse. Now, one of the unsettling realities you need to accept is that for a narcissist, supply can be positive or negative. A narcissist, you think of a narcissist wanting you to tell them that they're so wonderful, they're so handsome, they're so pretty, they're so this, they're so that. A narcissist will also take negative supply as well. Think of it in terms of a starving person. If you were starving, maybe you'd prefer to have a hamburger and some fries, but you would take a bologna sandwich. So a narcissist will take the equivalent of a bologna sandwich when it comes to supply. They'll hurt you, they'll get negative supply, and that works too. All they're trying to do is avoid the unpleasant reality of who they are. So when you're with a narcissist and they're giving you, say, the silent treatment, or they're putting you down, they're pitting people against you, they're speaking poorly about you, they're enjoying this. This is supply for them. They're getting off on it. When they make somebody miserable, they're enjoying it. It's all about power. They want to control you, the power to control you. So think about that. Control is always the goal of any bully. If you think of it in terms of slavery, right? Slaves were brought down. They were made to think that they didn't have any power. They were like that elephant. They couldn't rise up. They were stuck. They were chained. The reality was that was not true. They could rise up. They could beat the plantation owners, but they had this fear. They were brought down to such a degree. Same thing happened in Nazi Germany with the Jews. They were systematically brought down. They didn't think they had any power. That's exactly what is happening to anybody in a relationship with a narcissist. You are being trained. You're taught. You think you don't have power, but it's not true. So the first step to freeing yourself is to educate yourself. Accept who the narcissist is. In order to stop giving them supply, you have to lose your fear. The narcissist really is dependent on you. Have to ingrain that in your head, and maybe you have to take baby steps to get to this point. You need to channel your rage into a new life. The only power a narcissist has is the power you give them. So if you recognize who the narcissist is, you'll never see them the same way again. I used to believe that my ex had all the power. I was miserable in my marriage, but I was afraid to leave. At some point, I started to take control. I started to see him in a different light. I'll tell you, one day I had to call the police on him several times, but one day when I called the police on him, he told me that he wasn't going to come home. We had agreed that he was going to be away from the house for a couple of days. He told me this, and 5 minutes later, he came to the house. So he was driving in his car, lying to me, telling me that he wasn't going to come to the house. He was already on his way to the house. He barged in. He was acting like a crazy person. He was throwing things around. He was yelling and screaming. I was terrified. So I called the police. My daughter was home. My son wasn't home. My daughter was home. She was in her room with mace. She was afraid that he was going to attack us. I called the police. The police kicked him out of the house. Now, I found out later, I'm terrified. My daughter's terrified. My ex, please have him leave the house. He's standing in the driveway calling mommy and daddy. He literally was standing in our driveway calling his parents, complaining that I had called the police on him and he didn't know what to do. His parents paid for him to stay at a motel that night. When I think about how pathetic that is, a grown man terrorizes his family, lies to his wife, terrorizes his daughter. His daughter is in her room holding mace, afraid he's going to attack. He goes outside and calls mommy and daddy and goes to a motel and watches a football game that night. That's who the narcissist is. These are one of the moments when I think about that, when I think about what was really going on. I gave this person so much power when at the end of the day, he couldn't even respect his family enough to do what he was going to say. And then he goes and he calls his parents and complains about me like he's a 5-year-old. That's who the narcissist is. Remember who they are at their core, because that's the person that you are giving all the power to. I gave that person all the power in the relationship when all along this is who they were. They want you to think that they're somebody that they're not. They want you to think that they're like a big lion, but the real truth is that they are a little kitten. What you need to do to free yourself from the hell of being with a narcissist is educate yourself, decide what you want, get angry, and take your life back. You will never regret fighting, but you better believe you will regret not fighting. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, I'm very grateful for everybody who watches my videos. I want everybody to have a life free of narcissism. We all deserve it. We've all been tricked and trapped by these crazy people. Take your life back. They really and truly only have the power you give them. They're dependent on you for narcissistic supply. They're dependent on you believing they're somebody that they're not. Life can be short. You don't know how long you have. Any time away from the narcissist is worth it. You will never regret it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Love it if you commented. I reply to all comments, and my email is in the description. All goes well. I will see you on Monday. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hope everybody has a great weekend. God bless.